Hello everyone, we're having an issue. We're in the Dominican Republic. We've been here for some time. We got some groceries at the grocery store here in Luperon. All it took was a little bag of rice. It brought weevils to our boat. The whole boat is infested, people. It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. We threw out piles and piles and piles of food. I know. Weevils are harmless. You can eat them, but I mean, do you really want to eat a whole bunch of bugs and bugs that have been defecating in your food? You open up a bag of pasta and there's powder in the bottom for where they've been chewing through your food. I think we're just not gonna eat that food. We threw like 10 bags of pasta out. Like we were stocked up on pastas and everything was infested. All of our grains, everything that's not in a hard plastic or glass is infested. Ziplocs do not work to keep weevils out. We double Ziploc things and put them in our cupboards, and the weevils ate through both layers of bags and then into the hard bag that the food came in and infested it. So they get into everything. We are cleaning out all our cupboards, and we are gonna have to go to town and buy some more hard containers that fit in our cupboards, and we're gonna get this weevil situation taken care of. Do I have a weevil on me? I keep thinking they're crawling on me now because it's quite disgusting. So we didn't want to throw away all of our dried mushrooms, so I extra dried them in the oven to kill any weevils, clean them out one by one, and find something to put them in. For now, a Ziploc and in the fridge because we just don't have any more containers until we come back from this. Good morning, everyone. We are here in beautiful Luperon, and to pass the time waiting for hurricane season to end, I've decided to do a little extra boat work. I'm going to take a shot at all of the teak here. As you can see, it's very weathered. It's very rough and coarse. And I've already started on the rear deck a dark teak oil, and we're trying to find a new teak oil. So I used the dark to do accents, but I don't have the oil yet to do the rest of it. So to do the front here, that took me almost 4 days of sanding. I didn't really have the right sandpaper. And if you come here planning to do this kind of work, make sure you bring sandpaper with you because it's unavailable here. We needed 5-inch 8-hole sandpaper. Rented a car and went to Puerto Plata and went to about 6 or 8 ferreterias, which is a hardware store, and none of which had the sandpaper. They even sell the sanders, but not the sandpapers. Luckily for me, my friends on Lala too, thank you very much, Henrik and Mariola, they gifted us some sandpaper, and now I can start working on the front of the boat. So I'm going to do it the quick way this time. We're going to sand it just like this. And there it is. There is our teak deck all refinished. So the project took about almost 2 weeks. We just started rainy season here, and it rained a little bit almost every day. You're supposed to really do this kind of work with dry wood, with the sanding and the oiling, so I'd have to keep waiting for the boat to dry up and do it again. All in all, it took about 2 weeks to do, and we got some teak oil in Santo Domingo, possibly get it in Santiago as well, about a 5-liter jug, and pretty much use the whole 5 liters. So if you have a boat about this size with this much teak and you want to put a good coat on it, get the 5-liter jug if it's available. All in all, I'm pleased with the work. I like how it turned out, and now I just got to keep it maintained so it doesn't age like it did before. Hope this was helpful. Ever since I bought the boat, our radar has never worked. We had an electrician get in behind our touchscreen display, and he rewired the wires there, and that still did not bring it on. So a little while ago, I climbed up the mast and I was going to take a look at the connection, and the basically what you grab a hold of where the wire goes into the radar just crumbled in my hands. So I know that connection is just completely pooched. So I'm going to see if there's something I can do about hardwiring that. Come along with me today, and that is what we're going to take a look at. And if you have the same kind of problem and this works out for you, hopefully you'll learn something from it. I'm trying to be prepared. Hopefully there's not too much wind that you can't hear me here. I'm going to bring some string and some electrical tape so I can attach it to the cable that's inside the mast and lower it down to the base, because I'm going to have to test this out down at deck level. It's the only way I'm going to be able to really do those intricate wiring. And I've got a pocket full of wrenches and a large slip joint wrench just in case I don't have the right size in my pocket. Here we go. So this is the view from up top here in Luperon. This is our radar, and the connection here is very corroded. So I'm going to try to lower that down. You don't realize how windy it is until you're actually up here. I found some netting from a pickup truck. I'm gonna see if there's a way I can wrap that up. All right, that's tied up. Let's hope a ½ inch is the right size. Oh, good thing they're not too corroded. Pull the slack out. Yeah, just keep pulling. Tie that off to that cleat down there, right underneath you. Okay, all the bolts are off. Okay, lower it down. You can go a little bit quicker. Beautiful. So that plug barely fit through the mast. I don't know why that was so tight. I'm going to have to investigate it, because somehow they got the whole plug up there, and even though the end is rotten off of it, it was very tight getting through the bottom of the mast. I'm wondering if they actually installed this plug after the fact. Tie this on here. This is so I can get the wire back up the mizzen. So we definitely don't want to lose that. A couple of half hitches in there. The plug itself looks all right. There's all sorts of corrosion right here. Good news is it looks nice and clean inside here. In case you're curious of what these look like. And then this wire here, I think I'm going to have to splice that and make some connectors for it and bury the connectors inside of here. Now we know the big wire is just power. I could probably make a new one. Hopefully it doesn't interfere with anything. That one looks a little more complicated. Goes into a circuit board. So I'm probably going to have to do a splice somewhere just inside of here and then seal up the mouth of this. Now we know. Ooh, this one plugs in. Convenient. As does this one. This I have to somehow repair. I'm going to strip it back. I don't know if I should be bringing it back to here because that feels pretty kinked. So I'm just going to be doing some testing here before I put it on any kind of connectors. Once I put connectors on, I don't know if they're going to fit up to that mast very well, so I might have to do all that from up top. But before I do that, it's a good idea to make sure that this radar even works. So we're going to strip all these wires back, a little twist of everything together with some electrical tape. Then we're going to test it out and see if it powers up. This is not powered up since we had the boat. I'm going to be careful sticking a knife in wire like this, because if you get a little snag on that wire and you're out in this salty environment, just a matter of time before that wire fails on you. This is a very poor wrapping job, but this is just to see if this thing powers up. Alright, this is by no means the permanent solution. As I mentioned before, this is just to see if this radar will fire up or not before I work on a permanent solution, which is going to take some time and resources. So it's really good to know ahead of time if everything's going to work. And normally never twist wires together like this. Alright, for ease of operation here, I'm going to bundle all these grounds together because everything here has to be grounded. I have to put this ground back onto here. Alright, I just turned this on, turned it on inside the boat, and that thing rotated. So that is a very good sign. Oh, it's making a noise again. Oh my gosh, it is turning. Look at this. Look at this. It works. I don't know how to get this off the screen. I've never had a radar before, but the only button here is off. Radar, 4 kilowatt, 18-inch radome. Warming up. Oh, it's warming up right now. All right. There it goes. It's picking up a lot because there's a boat all around it. It's inside our cockpit. Oh my gosh, it works. Oh my gosh. Very cool. All right. So the next things I'll show you after this, but I'm going to have to get some supplies together, is how we're going to make a series of connectors, and I'm going to put those connectors all inside of the radome, but I have to do it all while we're up on the mast. It might be tricky, but hopefully I'll be able to find somewhere to clamp the camera and you can watch how I do it. So a quick update. I'm putting some spade connectors on here. Unweaved the ground wire and the sheathing with it to one side. I'm doing the same thing here with the power lines, some spade connectors. I'm just going to separate all of this ground wire. I can get it all to one side, and then I'll be doing the same thing with that, adding it. Okay, got all my parts ready. Wrenches, crimpers, connectors with shrink wrap that fit over the tube. Torch to some strippers, the bolts, put a little piece of tape over them so that the washers stay on while I'm climbing up the mast. Wrench to put the radar back on. The knife to cut the top off of the silicone in case I need to cut anything else. And some silicone to seal up around where the wire comes out because I'm no longer using the connector. Keep in mind, I have to hold myself against the mast while I'm doing this with one hand, so it's difficult to even find a second hand to work with. this on here anyways. Just gonna squish down the silicone with it. And this is how wobbly your knees get. I guess because of nerves and because you're balancing on the top of the mast. 3 more to go. Oh, we're shaking now. Which is more like a grounding sheath because it wraps around all the wires. Probably grounds some interference. Push them together. Then I'll take a torch to it and shrink the blue over top of here so it'll make a little bit more of a seal. Strap all of these wires down as low as possible to not interfere with this. Right now we got clearance, we're okay. And now the moment of truth. And there it is working. We have a radar. And it's working great. All I got left now to do is put the lid on the radar and seal some silicone around where the wire comes out just to be on the safe side, and the deck fitting where the wire comes to the deck. I'm gonna seal that back up and screw it down, so not much to watch there. So thanks for watching. I hope you have this kind of issue, this video helped you. It is fixable. You can hardwire it if your plug rots out on you, just as I did. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next week.